Welcome to Comfort Africa number 2. We're going to attempt this again. We're going to talk about racism. And why we're talking about racism was because it was on a TikTok that I was listening in on. And this is a specific band of racism or colorism, depending on what you're talking or what you're going to hear. So I was in a TikTok the other day at 49, and all these people are 20-something years old. I'm making this video so I don't have to make two because I made one, but my loudmouth ass sibling wouldn't shut the hell up, which totally ruined my video. So, here we go. In the video, or in the TikTok rather, they were talking about reverse racism and can black people be racist to other black people or the mixed people. So everybody in the panel was like myself, multicultural or mixed race. And they went on a tangent on some shit. And it, went on some things that I similar faced back in the 80s, in the 90s, and in the late 70s even while I was in kindergarten. I was born in 73, so 74, 75, 76, 77. So between 77 and 78, I was in grade school or whatever. No. And so somewhere in there, I started school at 5. So 73, 74, or 74, 75, 76, 77. So I had to be 77 that I would be 5 years old. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Whatever, 77, 78, I was in school. And we went through a lot of racial shit. And throughout my grade school and my high school and even middle school, it was half-breed this, half-breed that. You're not really one of us because you're one of the H's. If you want to know what that word references, George Jefferson from Good Times, not even Good Times, god damn it. The Jeffersons, moving on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky, he used to call Tom and Mr. Bentley the H word. Now, if you want to know what the N word is, you need therapy because everybody on the earth knows what the N word is. And yes, it was spelled with the ER, not an AR. Still a really bad word. Anyway, so they were talking about this stuff, right? And I was chiming in the comments because I was telling them, back in the late 70s, early 80s, I went through some similar stuff, if not worse, because I didn't know I was part Native until I got into the 5th grade. So now I have to deal with as well as being called half-breed. So, these things were apparent, and most of my racism, unfortunately, came from people who were black. I just didn't really understand it. And, I've always tried to prove my blackness to people until I stopped. And in grade school, it was only date black girls, only date black girls. Because, yes, in grade school, you have those puppy love relationships, which the love is real to the puppy. Anyway, I messed with black girls as much as I could until I couldn't. But every black girl that I was messing with outside of the only two that actually were my girlfriends would always tell me that I was not good enough because I wasn't all the way black. Now, mind you, as years go on, you get tired of waiting for the right person with the same skin tone to actually exist. So when I started dating white girls or Asian girls or whatever other choice there was, black girls would get mad, which would fuel more racism towards me. And so I want to make it abundantly clear, you can't have it both ways. You can't tell me I'm not good enough to date you and then get mad at me when I choose to date someone of a different race. And that's the thing that I went through, and I'm having some glitching. Fantastic. We're going to end this video soon. So you can't have it both ways. And as a person of color, I had to prove my color. And to do that, I would start acting black, talking black, swearing a lot, doing things that I thought would be black. And then once I found out I was Native, I would start reevaluating myself and trying to get things done right. And then I just stopped trying to please people. I stopped trying to be more black. I stopped trying to be more white. I stopped trying to be everything. And I never was trying to be Native because I didn't know. And as a child, you don't see color. Yes, my mom could pass for white. My dad definitely could pass for black. Now, every generation of his side of the family, we all have Native features, So it is what it is. But for the outside of the family life, the dynamic was really, really awful. And like I said, I had 2 bad racist experiences with Natives. Yes, I will earn this and stand on this hill until the day I die. I earned the fact that, yes, they were in wheelchairs, and I was trying to date this pretty, beautiful chieftain's daughter, who they happened to be her uncles. The first uncle must have been like the younger brother or the youngest brother, and he rolled over to me. He said, "You're not pure native. We don't want you dating our niece." And I told him, I said, "Well, it's really not up to you. And if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to roll you down that hill." So he got out of my face. Now, I really wanted to fight him, but he was in a wheelchair, and there's no honor in fighting someone who can't stand up and fight for themselves. So the only thing I could do was do something exceptionally stupid by telling him, I'm going to roll him down the hill. Then his big brother came in, or should we like to call him Jan Brady. He came in to add salt to an already wound that I had, and he goes, "So, I see you talk to my brother. We don't want you talking near our niece. We don't want you getting near our niece. Don't sit near our niece. Don't come anywhere near our niece because you are not pure blood." And I'm like, okay. As I told your brother, I'm going to push you into the street in oncoming traffic because you can't tell me who I can and can't get near. So then I had a friend who's a Mohawk, and he had some words with them because they had no right to tell me this, that, and whatever. And I get it, you don't want me mixing with your family because I'm mixed and you don't want to fuck up the bloodline. I get it. But their approach is what kind of set me off because they literally talked to me like I wasn't a human being at all. And so I flipped the frack out, and that was that. But the problem being is, if we probably could have all sat down and they asked her because we were getting along great. I could have been the best husband she would have ever met. Versus her being a pure-blooded native, they would probably treat her like crap. But it is what it is. Anyway, because a lot of people are coming in, I just want you to understand it. A lot of the things that they discussed on TikTok was reverse racism from blacks being racist to other blacks or light-skinned or brown people. Skin tone and all. So you can see light, dark. And, a lot of my racist experience were similar. And mostly from black people. Where I can count like on my hands, both sets of hands, how many racist events I've had with white people versus I can count on one hand how many racist events I had with native people, and I need my hands and my toes and a couple of other people's toes for the racist shit that I got from people who are black. And that's pretty much the gist of the whole TikTok. I would go into deeper detail, but there are people here who are too loud. I don't feel like making this video again. Plus, God only knows when you're actually watching it. That being said, I'm Echo Fang Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I hope I taught you guys something, and try your best not to be racist at all. Now, there will be some exceptions. If you are being racist to racist people, we're good. That being said, I'm Echo Fang Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing you.